For higher education, I'll date myself. Back in 1981, I came to Central Michigan University. It's a state university, right? So it's supposed to be largely state funded. Central Michigan University was 80% state funded. Last year, 17%. And that is the single biggest reason why. In fact, 75% of the reason we see for the cost rising in tuition is because we're not investing as a state. Michigan is seventh worst in student debt. It is unfair to this generation, the burden that we're placing on them. We need to, one, reinvest in our higher education, and that's not something, because of the long neglect we've given that, we can't just turn the faucet on and fully fund our higher education again. It's going to take decades probably to get back. But in the meantime, I'd like to restore the education tax credits. I'd like to look at programs designed at encouraging our educated youth to stay in Michigan by encouraging them to be here. For example, give them some tax credits for the interest rates on their student loans. We need to have our students stay in the state when they graduate.
Yes, our colleges and community college are underfunded, which is a shame. The price of tuition, I'll date myself, I think I paid like $78 or $100 a credit hour. Now it's astronomical, and that's because we're asking the colleges to do more. We need to encourage them to put a cap on tuition. I think Central has been really good at that, and we are lucky to have a university in our community. My son Matthew graduated. He's went through their education department, and he found a job in the local area. And I think everyone knows stories like that.
We actually do, to get state money, you are required to stay beneath a certain level of increase of tuition. But what we see happening, because there's such a small investment in higher education, we've actually saw two universities, Oakland University and Eastern University, last year not take state money. And that's because they felt they could do better without it, because it's so minimal. So what's happened as a result of not investing in higher education, we've lost any control over them. They just don't have to listen to the state much anymore.
Actually, the universities in Michigan run autonomously, so technically the state cannot tell them to do anything. But we can try to persuade them into keeping their tuition low and by putting caps on it.
Would you be in favor of amending the Elliott-Larsen Civil Rights Act to extend protections from discrimination to include sexual orientation and gender identity?
I would have to. I'm not against it. I'd like to look at the law. Obviously, I mean, everyone needs to be treated equal. I taught my children. I raised them as it doesn't matter your color of your skin, your gender. It's the person inside. And I would definitely favor looking into that. But I think we also need to look at, sometimes we're so concerned about one group and what they want, sometimes we trample on the feet of a different group. So I think it's something we really need to look at really close. But no, I would definitely be in favor of looking at it.
I absolutely support expanding the Elliott-Larsen Act in Michigan. What we see happening in Michigan, it is legal to discriminate. In other words, if it is legal to refuse service, say at a restaurant, to somebody because you think they might be gay, it is legal to refuse someone to stay in a hotel because you think they might be transgender. The list goes on. And so by expanding the Elliott-Larsen Act, you're actually expanding it for the LGBT community. The rights already afforded under Michigan law for various other ways in which you might discriminate, for example, religion, race, etc. It is not just about rights, it is an economic issue. If Michigan wants to be truly a welcoming state where we can attract the best and brightest to help our economy, we have to open up our policies and be accepting.
Yeah, I agree with Bryan. My brother Neil and I were both licensed contractors, and we own duplexes. And if you can pay your rent, I'm going to rent to you. That's the bottom line. And I think the majority of the businesses in the state feel the same, do the same thing. But we have to make sure that everyone is treated the same.